All right, boys and girls, good morning. It is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026, and we are going to work on our daily bias today uh, in this stage. So I'm just going to get some. Oh, let's see what we've got here. Okay, so first things first, let's clean up the chart a little bit. So if we double topped up here last night, that would be interesting. What we've got. So it currently looks on the 1 hour that we are in an uptrend. Um, so a bit of sideways motion yesterday, New York. Quick spike at the end. That was a pretty crazy up candle. Um, then a little bit of movement with a move to the. Okay. I would say we are currently in an uptrend. We did get a break of structure to the upside. We do have a little bit of an SMT on the 4 hour here. But yeah, clearly an uptrend. But NASDAQ, not so much. NASDAQ, we're looking at a bit of an SMT here. Okay, let's go. Let's get down into the 5 minute and see what each of these look like. Okay, so crazy movement after hours before Asia session. With Asia session actually opening higher during the gap in between market, New York and Asia. Okay, I'm going to say that I'm bullish on today. We have a bit of sideways trading here, but yeah, I think we're going to be bullish on the day. Let me see if we have something here that's. Let's mark out our liquidity areas and okay. Excuse me. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see. We have an hourly low here. And here. Okay. And 2 hourly lows there. One here. One here. Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, that's everything marked off. I think we're just gonna have to sit and wait, see where the manipulations are, and then get a direction here because really I don't see any specific ideas that I have on what market is likely to do, other than to say we're probably going to try to get a market manipulation down toward London lows, maybe even to Asia, and then a move back up. Um, or maybe a slight move down and a move back up. Maybe this could very well be continuation through here because this part right here is part of pre-market right here at 8 o'clock. Um, so the manipulation could have happened in pre-market, and now we have continuation. So with new money coming in, we might see just a little bit of a retrace through here down into this region. Let me get over here and move this to the 15-minute as well. So something down in this region. This didn't quite get to those lows, London lows, but there was what looks like could be a manipulation below this area of liquidity here, and then a move up from there. So this very well could be, it had its market move, settled out, came up, and then at pre-market, we have our manipulation down to here and then a continuation up. So that's kind of where I'm thinking we're going to be. Maybe a little spike, move down just to get a little more liquidity out of this, and then a push back up. So I think that's where my bias is going to be. So with that in mind, I would say we're just going to watch it because there's not a whole lot to go on at the moment. Let's go to the 5-minute here. There we go. All right, we got just about 9 minutes, just under 9 minutes to market open. Let's see if we got some fair value gaps here that we've been testing. Okay. So we got a fair value gap in here. I think S&P is probably more likely to be our target trading realm for today. Yeah, I might be changing my bias to a bearish bias. In about 6 minutes to market open. Let's take a look at the 15-minute real quick. Looks like we got a fair value gap here on the 15-minute as well. That's been tested and respected. So a lot of news-driven trading going on right now. We're just going to watch price action. I'm going to sit tight. There's a couple different scenarios I see could play out here, but until market open and we actually see price moving a certain way or acting a certain way, there's just I'm just not seeing that there's a predictable movement right now other than just a generic thought that we're going to have a little bit of manipulation, probably to the downside with a move back up. But that'll all play out in about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes. We'll begin to see what's going on. Okay. We'll just let market open here in a couple of minutes, about a minute and a half, and we're just going to watch it for a while. All right, we've got market open. Right at the moment, we've got an SMT forming. If we get a inverse value gap here on the S&P, then we might start looking at the lower time frames for possible confirmation and continuation. But that SMT does make me nervous. NASDAQ isn't responding as well as S&P to whatever it is that's moving this market. That is a pretty dramatic SMT going on too. Okay, now we're starting to see things settle out a little bit. I think now we're going to start seeing a downturn, a drop. We are going to have a break of structure to the upside, it looks like, on S&P, but not on NASDAQ. But I guess we still got about a minute left, so we'll see how that turns out. Either way, it's a pretty bearish SMT. NASDAQ respecting the gap. S&P looking pretty strong to inverse the gap. So we've got two divergent indexes right now. Unless, of course, this is the liquidity manipulation and then we're headed down. But if that's the case, we're going to have to look for a break of structure to the downside at this point because we have a clear break of structure to the upside. Okay, now we're getting a much stronger movement. Still an SMT. Okay, we broke through London highs. NASDAQ doesn't quite get there yet. We're going to see, but looks like we got a lot of strength. Let me go down to the 1 minute real quick and see what that's looking like. Well, that did not just gap up. I'm clearly missing a candle. Really? Yeah, I'm missing a candle. Let's look at it down here. There we go. Okay, I would say there's probably a value gap in here that this is looking inverse. We're showing a lot of strength on the S&P, but we'd have we have an SMT forming, pretty serious one. Yeah, this might just continue to go without me. I just don't see a proper entry just yet. Okay, we're starting to get what looks like a break of structure to the downside. On the 1 minute, I'm going to take a short.
Order filled.
There we go. All right, I'm going to
Order
pop out
filled.
now. Hop back to the 5 minute and take a look. Okay, we haven't quite inversed the gap going back down, but if we do inverse this gap right here, okay, so now the gap has changed. So I'm gonna reroute this box. So we're rerouting it right here, and right here. There we go. So for inversing that gap now, this one I'm just going to get rid of because we've already inversed this gap here and working down here. So if we inverse that gap, let's see, we're on the 1 minute. Okay, and then fully get a break of structure, then it'll be good for another entry for a short. Just not sure if it's going to go that way. Go to the 5 minute real quick. It's possible. Over here on the 5-minute, yeah, we still got 3 minutes to go. Yeah, 2 minutes left on the 5-minute candle, so that would be this one and the next one. Maybe see a little bit of a pullback. And then let's see what that looks like on the 5-minute here. Okay, we're going to inverse that value gap. All right, here we go. We're going to wait for a little bit of a pullback, unless this just tanks. But we'll wait for a little bit of a pullback, and then we'll look at taking a short here. Yeah, it's still wanting to go. I'm going to take a short here.
Order filled.
I'm going to get out. I'm just feeling like, although this might still go down, it's going to bounce around a little bit. Yeah, I'm on the 1-minute right now, so let's see what's going on here. See if there's a better looking setup over here. Currently, no. I just don't see an entry yet. good one would have been break of structure right here. I mean, we had the break of structure on this candle, so that was a pretty good indicator we were headed. But we had that fair value gap here. All right, let's try again here. We have that wicking candle. Okay, we're going to get back in.
Order filled.
And I think our target is going to be London lows. This might not work, but we'll see. Might have to be a little more patient on this one. Whoa, okay. We're getting up past where I'm comfortable. Usually sharp drops like this, it finds the bottom and then it'll spike back up. I just don't know if it's found the bottom yet. Let's see where we're at here. We do have a gap there that we're probably trying to get through. Actually, no, we don't. So yeah, I'm just trying to get down to those London lows. There we go. I think it's pushing down to that liquidity. Yeah, it's getting down there a little further now. Really scraping for every little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna pull
Order
out.
filled.
Not sure where I filled at here, but okay, I think altogether I'm in the. So we got 320 altogether on the day on that account. I think now what I'm going to be looking for is a break of structure to the upside. And if we do that, I think we can safely get into let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, if we get a break of structure to the upside, we could probably look pretty good for a move up at this point. I'll trade on the other account for this one. We're going to wait this out. I'm going to wait for another setup here. I'll go back to the 5 minute and just see what we've got. Generally speaking, a sharp drop like that will be followed by a bit of up, at least to equilibrium in any event. So we might see something coming back. But I'm really going to want to see a break of structure to the upside here. Maybe fill a fair value gap. We could get both. NASDAQ looks to be more promising in that respect. Then again, we could just keep dropping lower. We still have those London lows and the Asian lows to look at. This could just be something settling out toward the bottom. Just stay patient. Looks like we're going to get something approaching a break of structure here. See if we inverse that fair value gap. Nope. Just a tease. All right, now we're getting our drop to London low. Yeah, there it goes. I'm going to miss that move. So we've got London low on the S&P. We don't have it on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is staying in a much tighter range today. S&P seems to be whipping around all over London highs and lows, whereas NASDAQ is staying well within that range. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting movement here. They're following pretty much in suit, but NASDAQ is much more conservative in that today than what S&P is. Okay, there we go. NASDAQ does, okay, now it's a full dump. Now it's a full dump. I don't think I can ride that one down. We're on the 1 minute right now, so I don't have a really good. Yeah, it might have been good to take that where that was, but I'm chilling. Okay, we've swept those areas of liquidity now, so I think that's really the market sweep. I just don't think there's any more energy now for, yeah. I think that's pretty much, yeah. That should pretty much have taken the energy out of it. I think now we're headed back up. I'm going to go ahead and take a buy right now.
Order filled.
We should expect a little bit of a pop. I don't know how much to be honest, but I'm thinking here we're going to be looking pretty good. Just need to hang on a little bit. Stay patient. There we go. Okay, and we're out.
Order filled.
Okay, so pretty good altogether today, boys and girls. Not looking to get greedy, just looking to try to hit the targets, and I felt good about where that price action was going. So looks like we might still start heading upward altogether. Looking at 320 on the funded account and 429 on each of the evals. So what is that? About 1160 bucks total on the day. So not bad. I think that's going to be it for me. Got a couple of things today to do with the band to get ready for our next series of shows coming up in May. So we got about 6 weeks to get everything together, and got some work to do. In the meantime, going to keep plugging away here, and looks like it was pretty good altogether. Pretty much what I did was just took some momentum scalps on the way down. You can see those right over here, where had a short and then got out in here for a small gain, got in again, got out again for another small gain, and then took another short in here and then got out again for another small gain. So 3 trades on the funded account, all green trades, and then took 1 trade on NASDAQ for the eval accounts, and got in, where is that? Got in right about here at the blue candle. Pretty much once we'd come down and hit these marks down here, my opinion was it was tired out and it was going to get ready to move back up. Now, had I decided to hang on to it and keep moving it, this would be the direction I'd go. But there is a consistency rule that's involved with evaling the account. So with that in mind, I can only max out at a certain amount anyway of profit without getting way over the eval amount. So better to play that once I hit those targets. And here I was able to, I mean, 429, it's not great. I'd be better off with probably a $700 or $800 take on those. which clearly this is moving where I thought it would. So hanging on to this trade probably would have been better as it keeps going, especially with Nasdaq. S&P doesn't look as confident with that, but seeing that's the trouble is, as these things bounce around, you're going to see profits and possibly even losses take place. As things bounce around. So um, this definitely had to be a scalp play in order to just stay with some consistent moving dollars, and that seems to be the strategy that works for me, is noticing where these quick bounces are going to be, um, and then being able to take them at the right time for profit. So as you can see here, this pop up now is jumping back down. I mean, my original entry was right here, somewhere right about where this wick is, and I rode it to right up into here. So, we're starting to get down into the territory where my original entry was, and although things are looking good for being able to stay with the profit, I didn't really have a major take profit target up here. Um, it was a quick scalp, and I know they say don't focus on the money, focus on the process. Thing is, my process is the money right now, so that it's kind of counterintuitive and doesn't make sense. Very unorthodox in the way that I'm doing it. That most traders would say is good for consistent profitability. But so far, it's worked out okay for me as long as I'm able. The real key here is to be disciplined in where the losses are. And there was one point where I got really close at taking a loss and giving back profits on my funded account, and scrapping all of that, and maybe even taking an L for the day, taking a red day. Um, the trade did end up going in my favor, and it moved where I thought it was going to, and I was able to sustain the drawdown on that, the temporary drawdown, until it did eventually move where I wanted it to, and then I was able to close it out. And just decided, yeah, that wasn't the one that I wanted to stay in, even though it still did move in the direction. So the thing I'm noticing is that as I take a trade and get an intuition or get an indication where the price action is likely to go, I find that over time I'm generally right. As you can see here, my entry was here um, on a buy for an upswing, and that's what we're experiencing. So instead of a buy here and a sell here, had I held this through some of these pullbacks, I'd still be looking at a higher level profit than what I originally had gotten. Um, but this market is, really strange right now, because Nasdaq and S&P are not acting in tandem at all right now. They're acting very choppy. They're acting very inconsistent with one another. And, with that in mind, I'm going to have to consider myself lucky that I was actually able to pull profit out of today. I mean, there's probably a lot of traders that unless they were able to find a way to anticipate this move right here and take advantage of it, which is a fantastic move. Um, we're just dealing with a lot of chop right now. Certainly, my initial take on the day was that we were going to drop down and move up, not move up, find liquidity, and then drop the entire length of what London has done. And basically encompass London, and now act in this weird consolidating way, especially on the S&P. With the Nasdaq, same kind of thing. Spike up, but we're not even getting to these highs. And we did get to the London lows with some aggressive move, but S&P got to Asia and Nasdaq didn't. So Nasdaq is clearly the weaker index right now within that, a much more conservative index. The S&P swinging a lot more wildly. So in any event, I'm fortunate. Green Day today, and that's what I'm happy with. So I'm going to be calling it there and getting on with the rest of my day. Um, I hope the rest of you have had a successful trading day as well and made a ton of money. And Even if you weren't able to pull any money out of the market, you were able to find some good lessons in whatever did transpire today for you, and live to trade another day and be back to take advantage of those lessons and continue towards the path to profitability. So, wish you all well and enjoy your day. Take care, y'all. Bye now.